What's poppin'? My name is Richie, and today we have something special. A PS5 in Fortnite, and how to build it, how to make it actually a little bit work. Maybe at Christmas, you get one. So let's go ahead and how to build this. So obviously we start off by building controller because this is the hardest part. It takes some time, it takes some readjustments and taking like a good amount of time of your day, but it's not like it took me like 3 days or whatever to build. If I would like assume, it probably took me like 3 to 4 hours to completely build. Obviously I took some breaks in between and then had some readjustments later, but in general it is actually not that hard to build. I only use these pieces right now on the screen. If you want to rebuild it, you can do it. You can try to follow along with the speed build, but I highly recommend trying out stuff by yourself. And a very big tip that I can give to you guys: start building the handle of the controller on the left side or the right side, depending on whatever you prefer, and then try to make it as clean as possible so both sides look the same and there's nothing sticking out too much. And then you can just copy and paste, flip it around, and put it to the other side, and then you can build the middle part and kind of merge together. Obviously, building the pad, the touchpad is very easy. Also, building the sticks is like super simple, and basically you can just use the stuff as it is, and you don't have to really like reshape it or like do some crazy stuff here. One thing though, which is important if you start building this, that you build it in like 3 different shapes. So I built the upper part first, and then I'm going to copy and paste the whole controller and put it like under it. So you can basically start having like different layers, which come in handy later. So building the triggers and the buttons is also very easy. For the buttons, I can give you guys a tip that if you want to build the buttons, build something under it, like just for example the circles or whatever. Take the circles, put them on the controller, and then take the circle again, copy and paste it, and make it gray or something, or light gray or whatever, and then put it under it, so you have this little like outline, which looks a lot better than just having the white on the white. So after that, as already said, you copy and paste this controller basically 3 times and then put it under it, and then the last layer you can make white again, because the PS5 controller has that white like kind of outline on it. So there's like the middle part is a little bit black. So basically what is black on the last layer you can just turn white, and you're basically done with that. And then obviously the last thing is just putting in the buttons and all the little stuff like the PS5 button, or the little like icons on the actual buttons. But that is very easy. You can use copy and paste websites for that, or just make them yourself by using, I don't know, the billboard or whatever. But that should be super easy. And then you're done with your controller. And then if you're done building your controller, it should look something like this. Obviously, you cannot really avoid having these like little cracks and snippets in there, because obviously Fortnite is not perfect, and you can try to adjust like these a little bit, as you can see here, but you probably cannot avoid that. And I don't think it's like too bad at all. So what is this here? Okay, let's adjust that. And then if you go over here, you can see I just put in copy and paste symbols. If you don't know, you can go into Fortnite Creative, then go to, I don't know, go look for the billboard, wherever it is. It's right here. And then if you want to have copy and paste buttons, you can go on basically any copy and paste that or whatever. Then copy and paste it, and you will have like a question mark like this. And then make sure that you're on, so you can see if I'm on Notal Sense, or however it's called, then you can see it's still a question mark. But if I go into Roboto, you can see that it's basically choosing the item. So that is a quick tip that I can give to you guys if you want to have these like super nice and neat. But then you have your controller, and then you can copy and paste it. Usually it should not take up more than 100 things. If you have more, then try to maybe use these, make them larger or whatever, or just split it up into 2 parts or whatever, and then you can maybe turn it upside down or whatever, flip it and have it look like a cool controller. And then what you can do is add buttons to it. So I did it with normal buttons. And then what you could do is, like, for example, place a trigger on this one on the thing, but obviously that depends on you, and you can choose whatever you want. But I use buttons because I like how they work now, and you can have so many options with them now. So for the buttons, I now have basically trigger sound is disabled, so we can quickly go here. Then I have the interact text to whatever that is. So for example, this is down, this is left, this is right, up, whatever. PlayStation button, the X, that's the only button I use for this piece right here. And then all you have to do is put in the lowest interaction radius, because otherwise they will kind of interact with each other. Like you kind of hover over them and then they maybe show the wrong one. So try to make it as small as possible. Split them as apart as big as possible. And then put the channels whatever you need for your TV or whatever you want to use this for. Also for the X one, I just used the X, and then for the PlayStation, I wrote down PlayStation button. What I did and how this is actually working is I used matchmaking devices. I know not a lot of you guys have the matchmaking device yet, and you can see here that if I put this out quickly and delete the code in here, this is just a huge matchmaking device. So how this works is using the photo option in your creative settings. So you can go into creative settings, go to tools, and it's actually in under description. And then there's an option which is called set photo. And in here you can basically make thumbnails for your maps. And what you can do with these thumbnails is actually put them into their matchmaking devices. All you have to do here is just turn everything off, and then you basically have the blank photo. And you can see if I go back to the hub and then I go to my matchmaking portal here, you can see that I have a bunch of islands which are named like black screen and background and PlayStation Press or whatever, or for example PlayStation Start. And you can see they all have matchmaking codes, and if we go into them, you can see what is going on here. So you now can see that I basically built the PlayStation 5 logo inside of this new island, and then what I did is I went to my island, go to the description, set photo, and you can see I took a perfect photo of this, and then you can use it as a thumbnail on your maps. And these thumbnails will also show up in the matchmaking device, and then you can use them to kind of create some cool cinematics or whatever. One tip that I can give to you guys is if you messed up the photo, if the photo doesn't look, if the thumbnail doesn't look as you want to, duplicate this island and then make a new photo. Don't try to go in here again and try to readjust the photo, because it will never work and the photo will never adjust. So don't even try to do it. So first of all, duplicate this island, then delete the old one which has the messed up thumbnail, and then redo it. It will save you so much time, trust me. And then if you go back, we can quickly take this apart here. You can see I have, I think, 4 screens in total. For this is obviously just a quick one. You can obviously make this as big as you want. So I have the black screens to obviously turn on the monitor. Then I have the PS5 background logo or whatever. Then I have the press X to start the game. And then I have this game, which is also a background in itself. And then I have this ball game, which is just made. So you can see this here if I delete these quickly. There's just a bunch of vents here which you can activate obviously via a button. So I have the button set up to all of the little things here, and then if I press up, then obviously these activate, and if I press left or right, then these sides won't activate, which are, like, you can see that right here. So you can see there are also vents as well. And basically you can have this little game in there, and obviously this is just a trash game, but you can obviously make whatever you want in here, spend as much time as you need. Also make sure that if you have something like on top here where it's open, then the ball will jump out or something, or if you don't set up the height correctly. So make sure that you also kind of set up something that there's obviously nothing like coming out of the TV. And then you're basically good to go. It's actually super easy to do in itself, and it's not like you have to spend like immense amount of time to do this. Like, you don't have to be a genius or whatever. But it's a very cool thing to do, and obviously it doesn't need to be with a PS5 or whatever. You can just build your own controller and then have like mini games in your games, or even build like full-on games on TVs using a controller. And then obviously, and then if you set up all your stuff, you can set them up correctly inside of your TV, and then make sure obviously they have the right channels. So for my example, they have all different channels which all get activated by different buttons. And also if there's a sequence, so the TV turns on, shows the PS5 logo, and then the music sequencer turns off the PS5 logo and shows the press the X button, and then we can press the X button and play the game. So let's try it out quickly. And as you can see, we can press the PlayStation button, it turns on, shows the PS5 logo, then it turns into the press X to start the game. We can press X, even though the X is missing here, and then we can see that we can play around with our ball. The ball is jumping, we can press left, right, up. We can bounce the ball around. You can obviously have some little mini game in there to kind of dodge stuff or whatever. But that's obviously up to you, and you can create your own cool stuff with that. Obviously, you also don't need to build a fancy PS5 controller, but I just wanted to show you guys how this stuff is coming together, and yeah, hopefully this video was helpful for you. Hopefully you could learn something today, and got a little bit inspired to build your own controller. And I will see you guys back in the next video, and have fun creating.